Yeah, welcome back to McCarthy Performance. I knurled some pistons for a Pontiac engine, and I showed a few of the pistons being knurled. Now I'm going to show you how to finish them off. This is the way I finish them off. Other people might have other ways. I don't know. This is pretty simple, but it was taught to me a long time ago. And I've come up with my own way after doing it. Okay, so I put a little black marker on the knurl. And before we get into this, you're going to have to figure out what clearance you want to run on this. Now, this piston is not round. It's not perfectly round. Up here it is somewhat, but here it is not, and it's somewhat cam ground. And as the piston gets hotter, the contact point grows out and it stabilizes the piston. There's a sweet spot where you don't want it, obviously, to make too much contact to the wall. It's just got to hold everything relatively square. So hence being cam ground. So I usually just put a little bit in the middle because I don't want to build an excessive amount to the sides. Usually I like pistons with more cam in them because if they would get run hard, usually you can see on some pistons when they run really hard, they'll start widening out the contact point and then they'll start dragging. Getting back to clearance, this piston here has got drill holes in it through the oil return, and this piston will take more piston to wall, not only because of this but because of the alloy it's made out of. Now this is a forged piston, but this would be a different alloy. This would be more like a 4 series Loth Grow hyper type detector type material, but not cast forged, but it's low growth like a hyperdetectic. This is slotted. If you can see that, it's a slot. If you run too much clearance with these pistons, they'll crack right down the sides. They're weak here. They're made to expand and conform to the wall with a forged engine. Usually in the old days, if they ran them really loose, they'd hammer a lot until they warmed up and the piston grew. This material doesn't grow much, but so this piston, just by its design, will take a tighter cylinder wall clearance than, like, say, a 2618 alloy forged piston like that one is over there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to measure the piston. I've got a target size that I want because I measured the bore and I've measured what I have and what I need, and I know what I need from measuring the bore and subtracting what I want to run for clearance. I'm going to put these pistons at around 2.5. So I measured it, I got an idea, and this is by feel. And you take it, you file it on the knurl, and of course it's got some black on it, so that helps me visually see. And I cross it. The guy that knurled that one could have been a little bit closer on center, but you know, what can we do about that? Okay, now we're at 4. And I need to be at 2, so that's 2 thousandths a side. So now what I do is I go up to my sanding block. Now that's a 2-4 block, but just a good hard sanding block will work. And I'm gonna just take and go crisscross on the skirt like that. Measure it again. Of course, like I always say, you don't want to be too in a hurry because you want to do the job. You just want to get at least fairly close. So I usually don't get that too aggressive with the mic, but I'm trying to ascertain where the center line of the piston is, and that's usually where we knurled it. So I'm going to turn my sandpaper around to a little bit of sharper, and I'm just going to sand it one more time, because we're only hunting for about 1.5 thou. We're at 3 right now, so now we're hunting for 1 thou. And you can see them little diamonds. You can see that you know, they're still black in the center, and it kind of gives you a guide coat, if you will. Okay, we're saying we're at 2.5 now. To be exact, 2 7/10. So I'm going to sand it just a little bit more. Going to stay on top of my knurl. Okay, I'm at 2 4/10. I'm probably going to give a little bit more sand right on this side here. I'm going to call that probably pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to call that good. A couple tenths away from 2. I'd rather have it a little bit big. It will wear in a little bit. I mean, it is just a knurl, and then what I do is I take a brush and I get in there and I scrub out the grooves, because the grooves can have material in them, and we don't want the material getting on the cylinder wall and the piston skirt. So that's pretty much it on knurling pistons and fitting them. Thought I'd make this little video because I showed you knurling them, but I didn't show you how I finish them. That's how I finish them. That's it. Thank you.